going to be lower. So this is still the market research part. Now that we identify the competitors, we go CIA on them. And we start like spying on them and see what they're doing, how many links they have, how many places, how many pages, what are they doing on who is linking to them, what directories they have, what they are doing on social media. So we know this is our plan, this is our blueprint. We don't start just shooting in the dark, but we know exactly there is a market, yes, this is what they're looking for, these are our competitors. As you can see, up to this point, we haven't done anything. We haven't created any website, we haven't done anything. We just creating the structure of our content site. Now, once we have this, we go and analyze what we talked before, like the competition. And this really blows our mind because we're looking for Viaje a New York and Travel to New York. Like the same service, same product, but in two different markets. Now, a lot of people have told me, no, but there is more searches in English than in Spanish, so why go to the travel? So this is why. If you see Travel to New York, Viaje a Nueva York, in Spanish, had almost 3,000 searches a month, almost 3,000. Travel to New York, it's 1,000. So it's 3 to 1, right? But the most important part is how much is gonna cost me to get somebody looking for Viaje a New York? 87 cents. How much is gonna cost me to get somebody that is looking travel to New York? 2.4%. I'm not very good at math, but I think it's like three times. It's gonna cost me 3 times more for a market that is a third of what I'm looking for. And this is very similar all over again in every industry. So the only thing here is do not assume anything. Do the research. See if there is a market for you. If there is a market, then look at the competitors. If the competitors are not looking into that, if they're here, for example, is a no-brainer. People looking for that, yes, 3 to 1. And it's gonna cost me a lot less, so it would be crazy not to go to the market. So after you have this, okay, then we know what to do. Then we start creating. Then we do the production, the engineering, the architecture, content, all the mobile apps. I start with the marketing campaigns, but we know what we're doing now. We know what to pursue, we know what content to create, we know what has to be on the apps, we know exactly what people are looking to. Now, once we have that, yes, it's regular content, we know what they want, so it's all about content, but not any content. We knew that they wanted to have information about Andalusia, Peñíscola, Maravet, all of that about Spain. So we didn't just made up okay, let's put this here, that would be interesting, because we don't have many resources. You don't have many resources just to create everything. Because a lot of other companies too, they want to change all their sites to Spanish. And that's not necessary, because there are certain categories that are gonna give you the most of the return. I think it's always applied the 80-20 rule. And after we have, now we're talking about Facebook. Facebook have I think the craziest library of demographics that you can think of, but they just added something. Now this is a campaign for this client, Mahani. We wanted to go to the people who speak Spanish that are in United States, Spain, Mexico, and Argentina. Why? Because we know they are looking for there. So I want to reach them wherever they are. So this tell me, okay, for you, for you that you want to reach people in the United States or Argentina or Mexico or Spain that are 18 years or older and speak Spanish and are in the category US Hispanic. Why? Because they just added, if you want to target Hispanics on Facebook, you have the ethnic category too, that just added Hispanic. So then you have the information, then you create the campaigns, and that's when everything starts again.
Well, is everybody awake? Okay. The reality is, and I think Marcelo pointed out very clearly, that there's a methodology to everything. I mean, and if you apply it and you apply that discipline, that you're not actually going out there. Sometimes, the famous expression that I've heard many, many years ago when I was involved in advertising at Iberia Airlines, and we went to a conference and we heard the whole series of speeches about advertising, and they interviewed the owner of Ogilvy and Mather, which is one of the largest advertising agencies in the United States. And at that time, they had the P&G advertising budget, and it was about like $500 million. And somebody had asked them, the Republicans, they said, well, Mr. Ogilvy, you have all of this money that you're spending. Do you think it's all really effective? Is it really worthwhile to spend so much money advertising to people? And Mr. Ogilvy goes, well, to tell you the truth, I know that 50% of the budget of advertising goes down to the waste. The problem is I don't know which 50%. Okay? So in the era of internet, and what Marcelo has indicated is that you can control that breakage, 50% breakage. And if you can cut back on that breakage, you can be saving a tremendous amount of money. So I think that an educated and a very concentrated strategy can actually, pay big dividends in your total marketing campaign. And talking about marketing, well, that's why, if you have a good traffic analysis, you're able to optimize better your marketing campaign. You can also look at customer behavior, where your client is going within the website, what are their likes and dislikes, what are the pages that strike them more, and you can monitor. And one of the great things about internet marketing is precisely that you can gauge and you can adapt very quickly. Something that was very well pointed out today as to the importance of the internet and social media today in the presentation by Mexico is the how to respond to a crisis, how to respond to a negative travel advisory. What happens when there's a shooting or something? Well, one of the great things about a good control and monitoring of the website or the internet is precisely in reputation management. Reducing your damage control. Instead of having to wait until the things blow up in your face, what you do is you go out and be proactive in trying to make a change. So the question that was discussed here about being in social media and whether or not you're using social media, well, one of the great things about social media is that it's an excellent feedback to anybody when a crisis blows up. So again, this helps you later on to save money in your strategy, in the implementation of damage control, and we all have been involved at one time or another in our professional life in those situations where we need to respond. And obviously site optimization. And with some good tweaking and some good analysis, you can really improve, as an example of performance in terms of how much time you're actually on the internet or on the page of the client that you're trying to reach. So the bottom line is, let's make sure that you set up so that you don't get into a situation like this.
Amy, what went wrong? What happened?
Mr. Trump, there was a Spanish-speaking population at the mall that we didn't take into account for, and not only did we not capture some of that audience in the mall because of communication problems, but it also slowed down the efficiency of our line at the very end.
Why didn't you get somebody that could communicate? Does anybody speak Spanish?
Derek and Muna both speak Spanish.
And Derek and Muna stepped up huge to use the Spanish that they had to do it, but had we been able to go out and hire a couple of people?
Well, why didn't we do that? And who's responsible for not hiring somebody that really understood the language?
Can I respond to
Why
that?
didn't you hire somebody?
I was not aware of the Spanish demographic that was shared. I was meeting
What
with...
you have to do is look around, in all fairness. Maybe it's not politically correct, but if you have people that only speak Spanish, you have to do something about it, Amy, right? Okay, wait. Before you finish your point, why are you rolling your eyes?
Because, sir, just as you said, you just needed to walk through the food court alone to see that there were so many Hispanic people there.
Was it obvious to you?
I don't think it was obvious, but admittedly, I wasn't really paying attention. He was walking through the mall.
Or shouldn't you have been paying attention?
I was very into my book
Isn't
and
it
I was
all about
working.
who's walking through the wall? How can you not consider that to be important? Amy, you're fired.
So you don't want that to happen to you, right? Depending on. Well, to maximize your ROI, again, think digital, act social, be culturally relevant, maximize your digital resources, and test, test, test. Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions?